What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment. And I did forget that we had NBA games today. I don't know why. It just slipped my mind. I was thinking of college football. And then I realized we had some NBA games, so I wanted to knock them out. Honestly, looking through the schedule, it's a day I would typically just stay away from anyway. Not all of the games, but most of them. But at the same time, we don't have a ton of games. There's 7 games, but like I said, I don't like all of them, but I do like a few. So, again, the first game, I like the Pistons here with the 2.5 points. Again, these are all going to be leg ones for 1 unit, so nice and simple. I don't love any of these games. I think they're all okay. There's a couple I like, and there's not that. I think like one I'm just not a big fan of. But anyway, so it's all going to be 1 unit. I like the Pistons to cover the 2.5 because I don't think it makes any sense when you have a team that was, even though they were garbage, still a play-in team. They might have even been a playoff team. I can't quite remember. And then you have the Pistons. Assuming the Pistons shouldn't always, they should be getting at least 4 or something here. I think 2.5 is really light for some reason. I could be wrong, but I would imagine more of the money is going to be on the Bulls in this game. Grizzlies Wizards. I like the Wizards. Grizzlies starting off rough. Even when Ja returns, I think they might be a really bad team this year. And I think the Wizards, I went into this, are going to make the play-in this year with Jordan Poole. I just think he's the player that they want to build around. So I like the Wizards in that game. Knicks Pelicans, I like the Pels to cover because of Zion. You know, there's a few guys you can tell that they're really going to and just push them harder this year, and I think he's one of them. Obviously, Luka, we see how he's playing. I got into that in the beginning of the year. I said, it sounds, I don't bring this stuff up unless I specifically went into it. And the reason I liked Luka to win and the MVP was because the international appeal. The last several people that won MVP have been international. So to me, it just makes sense. You get as many countries involved as you can. And it's looking like it might be Luka's year. But either way, Zion's another one that they're going to push. He's probably going to be in that conversation. So I like the Pelicans for this cover. Again, I think the Knicks might start off a little rough and make some kind of trade. Pacers, I like them to cover the Cavs. I went into it. The first game, we picked the Pacers to win, or to cover, I should say. And my reasoning was, I basically thought they were going to be flipping Cleveland. I think they're going to be the Cleveland of this year. The team that gets 45, maybe 50. I think 50 would be a stretch, but I could see it. Wins and is top 4 in the Eastern Conference. Whereas Cleveland, while Mitchell's still looking unstoppable, I have a feeling he's going to either be traded to a contender or get, quote, injured. It seems to happen a lot in these cases. I just don't see the draw with Cleveland. Sixers Raptors, I'm staying away from. I looked at it and I was leaning Sixers to cover, but I just decided not to play this game. So you can do whatever you want, but I always try and leave out the ones that seem really 50-50. Heat Timberwolves 8.5. I'm taking the Timberwolves to cover that. I'm guessing somebody's hurt for the Heat when I clicked on the last night when I was looking through, like I said, I was looking through the schedule, and I didn't see the NBA schedule. I was looking at the college, so I didn't look at any of these injuries. Let's see, we got Jimmy out. So we got guys out for the Heat. Timberwolves, even still, I'm taking the Timberwolves to cover. I get Jimmy being out, and basically the whole team, not the whole team, but a lot of good guys for the Heat. But the Timberwolves they traded away everything they had. I mean, they got Gobert, but I mean, they really don't have much at all. So I don't think many people are going to be on the Timberwolves. So to me, this would be a game that the public, in my opinion, would be thinking, okay, 3-4 point game. Heat's got Jimmy out, all these different things. It's in Minnesota, so give him 3 points. To me, 8.5 points makes no sense at all. The Heat always have wacky spreads, so I'm hoping we have a good read on them this year. We missed, obviously, the Celtics Heat by half a point, but those things happen. But I'm going with the Timberwolves. Seems like a high spread to cover. Even with the injuries on Miami, I like the Timberwolves to cover the 8.5. And finally, I like the Jazz to cover the 5.5. 5.5 seems a little steep. Now the Jazz did just get a win over the Clippers. It'd be nice if we had that in our, like I said, we had picked it for a parlay, but we also had the Nets winning. So the Nets didn't get it done. We had the Jazz winning. I do think the Suns are going to win this game, but I have a feeling it's going to be a win no cover. Seems like just seems like where Vegas is going on this 5.5 point clip. So it happened with Denver yesterday. We had some that didn't go our way. Obviously, Boston didn't, the Kings didn't, but we had some that went our way. We got Memphis on a fishy cover. They wound up covering the 5.5 against Denver. I think the Jazz are going to do the same against the Suns here. So Jazz cover, Timberwolves cover, Pacers cover, Pelicans cover, Wizards win cover, whatever you're playing. And you might as well play the win. If you're going to get plus odds at all, like in this case of the Wizards, you might as well play the win. And the Pistons too. Now, the Pistons, personally, I'm playing to cover the 2.5 because the Bulls, we just saw them have a ridiculous game with the Raptors. So I'm going to take the 2.5 with the Pistons. Just because, believe it or not, 2 points, 2.5 points, especially on a small schedule, we're going to have usually, because Vegas understands, we're going to have a couple teams finish within one score, in my opinion. So taking the Pistons with the 2.5, I think is smart. Wizards, like I said, it could be a 1 point game, sure. I think they're going to win, though, because it's about which teams are improving. So, yeah, I could see the Pistons being a very close game. So I'll take the 2.5. And on the Wizards, I'm just going to take the money line. And the rest is all spreads. And like I said, they're all going to be one unit, leg one. So we'll see how these games go and then do leg twos. With college, we did hit Kansas. Most of our games are in play. That's why I'm not running these as leg twos for the college games. A, because of that, and B, because, again, I don't absolutely love this schedule. I think it's a decent schedule. But there's none of these games outside of probably the Pacers that I looked at and said, oh, okay, I immediately have an idea. I had to think about it for a minute, so that's just who I like. That's the reason I'm doing one unit on all of them. And because we have the NFL coming up tomorrow, we're going to have a lot of leg twos, leg threes that I've been looking at over the last week. So hopefully some of the upsets hold. It looks like Georgia's going to beat Florida pretty bad, last I checked. So it looks like we won't get that one, but obviously anything can happen. We got Kansas, and they came all the way back. So that was almost 3-1. Like I said, I picked quite a few dogs today. I think about 40% of our picks are straight up double-digit dogs. So Kansas was one of them. We did get them. So, like I said, if we hit 1-2 of those dogs, we've basically profited. So we got a couple open still. Colorado State, and I think Wisconsin is the third one. So it should be good. We were off to a decent start. We got the Indiana cover. Whoever played Penn State covered. We picked them to cover, and they did. And we also picked the under on UMass. That hit, and Kansas hit. So we're 3-0 to start. The rest of the games are in play. I think we're 3-0, unless I missed one. The rest of the games are in play, so we could have a very good day. Depending on what Vandy does, and obviously depending on what some of these underdogs do, we can have a really good college day. But I did want to get out the NBA schedule once I saw it. Like I said, I'm basically seeing it for the first time. I saw it about 5-10 minutes ago. And yesterday I was going into the college, so I didn't get a chance to look at these spreads. That's why I figured somebody was hurt on Miami for it to be a minus 8.5 for the T-Wolves. So yeah, I think, like I said, even with a depleted Heat team, the Timberwolves are so sorry. I still don't think many people are going to be pounding money onto them. So yeah, they're all covers. I'll run it over one more time just in case. Sometimes, since I don't edit my videos, sometimes I'll say something and it won't be correct. So I want to make sure everything I'm saying is accurate. So again, we're going to have the Jazz covering the 5.5, the T-Wolves covering the 8.5, not playing the Raptors, the Pacers covering the 2, the Pels covering the 3, the Wizards winning, and the Pistons covering the 2.5. All leg ones for one unit. And like I said, my next video will probably be Sunday football. Take care and happy earnings.